one. We have got this. On NFL, clear the 44-year-old has 1 year left on his current contract and enjoys working with top quality players. This comes amid reports that Shell is being targeted by several teams following the Eagles' impressive outing at the 2025 African Cup of Nations. So newsman, he said, and I quote, we still have 1 year contract with Shell, and no matter what, he has to wait until the contract expires. And we do not want to bring distractions to him because we understand that he enjoys working with Nigeria. It is not the issue of money, but will he achieve what he wants to achieve in his career? And that was coming. That was from Gusau.
Yes, sir. Few talking EPL
and talking sports. At home to Newcastle as Newcastle claimed a 2-1 victory. Of course, Newcastle plunged Thomas Frank future Tottenham bus into a serious peril by winning 2-1 in North London on Tuesday. That was yesterday to inflict another damaging defeat on Dane. Jacob Ramsey, winner, secured just a third away league win of the season. From Mackpiece to ease the pressure that has been rising on the boss at EOA. Spurs sleep to 16th in the Premier League table, and Frank was left in little doubt as the young fans thought as they could. They called for him to be sacked in the morning. Newcastle had failed to win in their previous 5 games and begin the night down in 12th. But in the battle between the sides, that cannot seem to win at home against one that has struggled on the road. It was the visitors who were stronger though throughout. Newcastle bossed the first half and were denied the opening goal after Joe Willock raced clear to fire pass to Guillermo Vicario. Only for VAR review to rule the midfielder offside by the finest of margins. His man did not have to wait long to take the lead when Malik Tua rounded in the second attempt after his initial header was saved by Vicaro. In the first half trouble time to compound another miserable night for Tottenham. They suffered another injury blow when Wilson Odobert
was badly lacked for creativity from open play throughout Frank's first season, but has compensated thanks to their strength from set pieces. The home side leveled with the first corner as Archie Gray turned in from Pape Matters as header back across goals just after the hour mark. But Tottenham were only on the level team for 4 minutes. Anthony Gordon was afforded far too much space to pick out Ramsey, who fired into the far corner. A fine night for Newcastle was spoiled in the closing stages where Captain Bruno Gomes booed off with what appeared to be a torn hamstring in a devastating blow to their ambition across 3 competitions. Newcastle visit Aston Villa in the FA Cup round 4th round on Saturday before a long journey to Azerbaijan to face Karabakh in Champions League playoff round first leg next midweek. But victory does not lift them back into the top half of the table and within 3 points of the top 6. Yes, see that now moving on to Italian Cup where we've got this four from Lukaku, Como and Napoli. Como knocks Napoli out 7-6 on penalties after the 1-1 draw yesterday to reach the semi-finals of the Italian Cup for the first time in 40 years. Martin Baturina spot kick but puts Como ahead before the break in Naples, but Antonio Vergara raced in behind to defend to equalize for the host moment into the second half. Romelu Lukaku stuck his effort wide for Napoli in the shootout, and come on Maximo Peron then this kick saved by Vanja Milinkovic-Savic as it went too sudden that it was Napoli who eventually blinked faster as Jean Bottas plunged to his right and kept out Stanislav Lobota. Attempts to send Como through the semi-final clash with Inter Milan. Inter to host Como in the first leg in an League match before the return fixtures take place in late April. Atlanta will meet the winners of the Wednesday quarterfinals between Bologna and Lazio in their other last 4 ties. Yes, moving on. We have got this on Finidi, Georgia. And talking Rivers United coach, of course. Rivers United coach Finidi, Georgia has called for reinforcement after his side cup Champions League campaign ended in disappointment. Admitting his players were exposed by the demands of continental football following another damaging defeat in Group A. The 2021-2022 Nigerian champions sit bottom of the group with 1 point from 5 matches, having lost 4 games and drawn 1, conceding 10 goals and scoring just 2. The latest setback came in a 4-1 home defeat in defending champions Pyramid of Egypt, a result that confirmed the elimination before the final round of fixtures. Despite continental failure, Rivers United remain joint top of the Nigerian Premier Football League table with 4 games in hand and are in the contention to return to Champions League next season. Finidi believes squad strengthening will be essential as the club qualify again. He said, and I quote, after the match, let us see how we can compete in the NPFL. If we win it, we will take time to prepare and to bring in a couple of players to strengthen the team. We have seen lapses and we know we can do better next time. Finidi George also said for the players, this is a learning process. Now they have seen the different levels of football. To match a team like this, we definitely have to step up and bring in a couple of players. Finidi also rejected suggestions that Rivers were unlucky, insisting the better side prevailed over 19 minutes. He said, and I quote, what can I say? For me, it's quite difficult coming here and explaining what happened. I think we saw it all. They were better, far better in the second half. This is another level of football, another level of intensity. They were better side today, and that is why they are the defending champions. This was coming from Rivers United coach Finidi George. Yes, moving on, where we've got this very sad one. Late UK-based Nigerian footballer Adeniji for burial today. UK-based Nigerian footballer Saburi Adeniji, who died last Friday from a serious brainstem injury, will be buried today in Colchester, England. Kings Park Rangers, a non-league side competing in Eastern Counties League Division 1 North, announced Adeniji tragic passing on Saturday. Days after the player was hospitalized, he passed away a day before his wife and 4-year-old daughter arrived in UK to be by his bedside. News of the funeral arrangement was shared with newsmen by a leader of the Nigerian in the UK community, Benjamin Kuti, popularly known as Oluwama of Derby. Kuti told newsmen, he said, and I quote, the funeral is going to be held by 2 p.m. UK time today. Yes, today. I have never met him before, but his relatives who are members of our community reached out to me as well, and we used our platform to put it out there. I also visited him in the hospital, but he was unconscious then. So that is what we do in our capacity, and this was coming directly from Benjamin Kuti. Our condolences to UK-based Nigerian footballer Saburi Adeniji. Yes, moving on, we have got this on Ademola Lookman and Atletico. Ademola Lookman has maintained a positive outlook despite Atletico 1-0 home defeat to Real Betis on Sunday, which ended their unbeaten La Liga run at the Metropolitano. The Super Eagles winger, who was making his first league appearance at Atletico home ground, saw his efforts ruled out of their as offside shortly before halftime in a match that saw visitors exact revenge for their 5-0 cup Club Del Rey trashing days earlier. He said, and I quote on his ex account, not the result we wanted, but we stayed positive. Very special moment making my debut in the Metropolitano. Brazilian winger Anthony, 28-minute long-range strike, proved decisive for Betis, who executed a disciplined game plan to secure all 3 points. The goal which beats Jano Black and registered Anthony's 6th league goal of the season came against the run of play, but proved enough to seal victory in the tightly contested encounter. Atletico thought they had equalized again in the 77th minute through Diego Llorente on goal, sparking celebrations inside the stadium. However, VAR review overturned the decision after ruling Antonio Griezmann marginally offside in the build-up, a call that drew frustration from the home crowd. Look, man, what scored and assisted in the Copa del Rey victory over the same opponent was heavily involved in Atletico attacking phases throughout the match. The Nigerian caused havoc against Betis' backline with his pace and skill constantly threatening the visitors' defense. Yes, moving on to Afghan, of course. We have got this on Shell, and Shell reviews Osimhen played injured. Super Eagles coach Eric Shell has revealed that Victor Osimhen played through the 2025 African Cup of Nations with an hamstring injury, while admitting Rafael Onyedika struggled in the semi-final defeat to Morocco. The Galatasaray striker managed injury throughout the tournament in Morocco, yet emerged as one of the standout performers with 4 goals and 2 assists in 6 appearances and in a place in CAF team of the tournament. He said, and I quote, shout out newsman, and I quote, he said, people need to know he played in African Cup of Nations injured. He had a small tear in his hamstring, so it was necessary to manage it. Of the 6 matches Osimhen featured at the 2025 AFCON, he completed a full 90 minutes in just 2, both against North African opposition Tunisia and Algeria. The careful management by the Super Eagles medical team allowed him to contribute significantly despite the physical limitations, as he finished with 4 goals, 2 assists and made the team of the tournament. Yes, moving on. Let's take this on Aqua United. Aqua United FC have bolstered their squad with the signing of 5 new players as they intensify their push for the return of the Nigerian Premier Football League and PFL. The promise keepers, who currently see top of the conference, being the Nigerian National League NNL, confirmed the arrival of forward Daula Dimeji, midfielder and Sikak Raphael, Kingsley Uduak, and Ibet Sunday, as well as central defender Melvin Ebitimi. All 5 players have joined the team training, then featured in club 6 mid-season friendly matches as preparation continues for the second half of the campaign. Club chairman Joseph Anoa, he has expressed confidence in the quality of the new signing, urging them to integrate quickly and contribute to the club's promotion ambition. He further reiterated Aqua United commitment to fulfilling the Akwa Ibom State Government directive of returning the club to the MPFL, assuring players of strong welfare and institutional support. Yes, and with that final story, we've come to wrap on today's edition of Sports Diaries. Many thanks to those who tuned in to listen to iPower 102.7 FM and Sports Diaries. Many thanks to those who made today's program possible. Many thanks to those who are here with me in the studios this morning. Until next time, I remain your favorite sports diva. Keep loving the game and stay sporting. God bless you.